This is a special Real Talk, Real People. I wanted to introduce you guys to Jonathan. Say hello, Jonathan.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right. Now, I was just driving, and I believe this is a Planned Parenthood office, right?
Yes, sir.
I was just driving past the Planned Parenthood office, and I see a lot of young men, young women, would you say peacefully protesting?
Yes, sir.
The Planned Parenthood office. So, we always see on the media how they're portrayed as somewhat angry, belligerent, and only there to make women feel bad. But I want Jonathan to kind of give us the on the ground, on the scenes type of understanding of what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to bring awareness of. Please go ahead, Jonathan.
Yes, sir. So first and foremost, I just want to say that I'm a Christian and I believe that Jesus Christ came to die for my sins. And I really believe that for whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And the reason why I'm out here personally is because I believe that God has put a purpose and a plan on everyone's life. There's no reason, everyone has a reason on this earth. And even the baby that's in the womb, that God has a purpose for that child's life. You can't fathom it, you don't understand it, but that child can bring joy to someone, to some people, and to the whole world. And that's what I believe. I believe that God has a destiny on that child's life, and I think choosing life beyond circumstance. I know there's some various of circumstances, and I know it's hard, it's confusing. You don't understand how you're going to support the baby and all these things. So personal testimony, my mother actually was in this predicament. She was 19 and had my sister, and she didn't know, and so she put her up for adoption. And I found out like in 2009 that I had a sister. My dad didn't know and anything like that because my mother was passed away in 2001. So like my dad didn't know that she had another baby or anything like that. And I found out I had a sister, and man, like now I have a niece and a nephew, and I was able to see them this year and everything like that. But just think about if my mother would have aborted that child because of her circumstance. We're just trying to tell people and make people aware that there's a different option, because that child has a purpose on their life. And it's not up to us to determine that destiny, which is death. I choose life over, abortion any day.
You heard it from Jonathan. And that didn't sound belligerent. That didn't sound crazy. It didn't sound out of the norm. It sounds completely logical to me, and it makes sense. And he's not just saying this. He's not just what society would deem just a man trying to impose his views. Mm-hmm. He's had personal experience with this, okay? Mm-hmm. So this is the type of things and the type of circumstances we need to take into account as well. Mm-hmm. Now, if I can ask you a few questions, and anything we can cut out. But do you believe, when it comes to a woman's right to choose an abortion, do you believe she has a right, or do you believe that the child's rights or hold on, let's ask this question. When do you believe conception begins?
I believe conception begins when you're pregnant. Because let's be honest, you're not going to your girlfriends and be like, yo, I got a body of cells. I got just a whole bunch of cells growing in me right now. No, you're telling your friends, I'm having a baby. And I believe when, hey, when you say you're pregnant, that's when I think conception begins, because it's forming, And even though it may just be what people may call just a bunch of cells, that is a living organism. And it has a heartbeat within, I think, 2 months or something like that, or I don't know the statistics, but it has a heartbeat. And so it's just forming, and so that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Okay. And another good question that people always try to ask is, do you believe that that the father has just as much rights to determine if the child lives or dies as the mother? Or do you think, since the mother is caring, she has sole rights and those shouldn't be infringed upon?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
I'll throw them at you.
I know. To be honest, man, because both of them did create the baby, and even though it's in the mother's womb, at the same time, I think both of them have the right, but you could do anything. Let's be honest. You can do what you want to do. We have laws for that, but is it right? Just because, so in my personal belief, sex before marriage, God calls that a sin, because he's like, yo, I want you to be with your husband and your wife, because that is between you two, because y'all made a commitment to be there forever together. but the world says it's okay. You know what I'm saying? They sell condoms for reasons. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the reality, but doesn't make it right. See, it depends on where you're coming from. I'm coming from more of a biblical standpoint. So even though the law is there and it makes it okay for people to do that, doesn't make it right, because for me, I believe that life has a purpose, and that's kind of where I'm coming from. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, then what we'll do, this will be our last question, and this will definitely be a subjective question.
Yeah.
Do you think, with the way the Supreme Court is now formed, do you think in your lifetime you'll see an end to Roe v. Wade?
Man, now you get into politics. I don't really know a lot of politics.
Right?
So can you educate me on what Roe versus Wade is?
Roe versus Wade was a determination that essentially made abortion, it put abortion on the Supreme Court national map in regards to, is it the woman's right or is it someone else's right? It was a landmark case. So with the abolishing of Roe versus Wade, it would effectively make abortions illegal.
Yeah.
Federally illegal.
Yeah.
States, you get caught doing it, you're going, you're getting shut down.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think that could happen with Kavanaugh?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish it will, but I don't know, man. I do pray that all these abortion clinics will shut down, because then now you don't have the you don't have the legal right just to go do it, and it's like just like candy. You can just that's an option on the table. It's kind of one of those far and few, because there's not a legalism to it. For me, man, I just pray that it will be abolished. I pray people will really come to the realization that this is a child, this is a baby, it's not a bunch of cells, and it has a purpose and a destiny on its life. We can't fathom it right now because it's in the womb, but I believe that it's the child's right to actually choose life, even though it may not be able to speak.
Jonathan, that was brilliant. Now, I'm supposed to be as unbiased as possible, and I am. That's how I run my platform. But you guys got to hear, you hear in the media this twisted, perverse narrative that they try to put on these protesters.
Yeah.
And I want you to hear from actual protesters' mouth. In your local city, in your local area, these are real people. This is real talk, real people. Jonathan, any last thing you want to say?
Yes. I just want to let everyone that's listening know that we all make mistakes. We've all fallen short from the glory of God. I've made mistakes in my life. I've sinned. Everyone has fallen short, but we are only out here to share the love of God, that he saved us from our sin, and that he is our provider. He loves us, he cares for us, and all he wants us to do is turn to him and to dwell in his household so he can take care of us, he can protect us, he can provide for us. And this is what we're trying to share out here, is that, I know you made a mistake. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? There's many people that made the same mistake, but that turned to Christ and realized, man, God loves them so much. And no matter what you've done in your past, when you turn to Christ and say, I want you to be the Lord of my life, all of that stuff in your past is at the grave. It's no longer, it doesn't attach to you anymore, because it's all about Jesus that lives inside of you now. And all I ask is that just think about it. Just whatever situation, whatever circumstance that you are in, just trust God and say, God, I want you to be the Lord of my life. And I know I don't understand. I'm in this predicament. Please save me, and actually follow him and trust me. He will be there with you through thick and thin. He will bring a community, a church. That's why we're here, to help you alongside when you're having this baby, or when you having these things. You may not feel like you can support the baby, but that doesn't mean, God will provide, God will provide. God will bring a family to help you. God will bring the church to help you. Please do not choose abortion because you don't know how to support. There's other avenues. There's people that will care for you. We're not out here trying to scream and condemn you, but so that you can see Jesus like we see Jesus, that is loving and caring and with open arms, as long as you just turn to him and give your whole life to him. That's why we're out here.
Sounds like they got support in the streets. And again, another profound statement. We're going to end it here. We definitely, like I said, real talk, real people will continue to bring you on the ground statements, messages, feelings. This is what it's all about. It's not about just sitting in a chair and talking and pontificating. It's about getting out there and speaking to people. Jonathan, thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Jonathan.
All right.
All right, we're going to stop it there. Thank you.